It's Monday, November 18th, 2024. Thank you so much for joining me today. A lot to talk about. I printed out some articles that I want to share with all of you. Feel free to comment down below. None of this is really in any order, but we are living in some really crazy times. This first one, DNA testing company vanishes along with its customer genetic data. A company called Atlas Biomed out of the UK. Apparently, their clientele says nobody's answering the phone. Their social media accounts are inactive and have not been updated since 2023. And the clients cannot access online records. So where did all this DNA info go? Where did this company go? And think about your DNA could just be floating out there anywhere in the world being used for God knows what. So think about how much of our data is on computers, people, giving their DNA to these companies to see, where they're coming from, and they want to know their history and all that stuff. But think about that information getting out, and nefarious characters have your DNA and how that could be used against you. So very interesting. Let me know your thoughts on that. Violent Venezuelan gang Tren De Aragua resurfaces in Tennessee. They have taken root in Tennessee major cities, bringing its brutal crime and violence to the volunteer state. Tennessee Bureau of Investigation Director David Roush warned this week during a budget hearing with Governor Bill Lee. This on the Hedge today. And Appalachia's Homestead. Great channel, check it out. Patera just did a video on this. I was watching some of this video yesterday talking about what's happening in Tennessee. We were just in Tennessee, last month. And beautiful state, and it is unbelievable what is going on. Some of the most dangerous people on earth are walking around now in Tennessee. And this is a group that has absolutely no respect for law, no respect for law enforcement, no respect for human life, no respect for you. They will engage with violence against anybody, law enforcement, yourself, and they are willing to fight. And they are all over the place now in the United States of America. Probably a good reason why you should know how to defend yourself, why you should be at the range, why you should, be getting defensive skills, getting stronger, and having a utility for, getting stronger, knowing how to defend yourself. Have a utility. If you're going to go to the gym, just don't lift weights. I'm adamant, it's imperative that you learn how to defend yourself with the proper tools, with your body, at the range, on the mat, in the ring. You got to be doing this stuff. There are some really bad characters walking around now in the United States of America. And, I know a lot of people, are very blissful right now with the euphoria that, we're going to see big changes in 2025. And I think we're going to see some big changes. But I think that you're foolish to think that we're not going to see some very evil people, evil groups rising up against this country. So you need to be preparing mentally, physically, spiritually, and financially. Daily Mail, Sweden tells citizens to prepare for war. 5 million households get pamphlets on how to get their home ready for nuclear Armageddon as Biden is accused of trying to start World War III. We talked about this yesterday. Now, the escalation with the U.S. allowing Ukraine to use long-range missiles into Russia. Very dangerous. And look, we are poking the bear here. Look, I don't want to see war. I don't want to see Ukrainians losing their lives. I don't want to see Russians losing their lives. I don't want to see people in the Middle East losing their lives. I want to see de-escalation. And this is the opposite. This is escalation. The weapons that we're making, and then we're telling Ukraine to go ahead and use them on Russia. What do you think is going to happen if this takes place? Do you think that there's not going to be retaliation against the United States of America? Russia is the biggest superpower on planet Earth. And I know people, they're busy, watching football games and doing their thing, but they have no idea what is going on behind the scenes. Watching that video yesterday with Ukraine shooting down these Russian drones and missiles, it's very, very scary stuff. We're not used to seeing stuff like this. We don't live in the Middle East. We don't live in Eastern Europe. Most people have never gone through tough times in this country. We've had it very, very easy for a very, very long time. Could you imagine seeing things like this happening here on U.S. soil? But if we keep doing this, if we keep taking these kind of actions, you're going to see things happening on U.S. soil. And most Americans who are very slow, very dumbed down, very obese, and have absolutely no skill sets are not going to know what to do. They are going to, literally defecate themselves when this happens. And look, this would be a frightening experience to see something like this happening in the United States of America. But we are really egging this on for whatever reason. U.S. military base opens 100 miles off Russian border. Redzikowo, northwest Poland. Redzikowo. Hope I'm pronouncing that right. I'm probably not. So now we have another military base. What is this? 789 military bases now across the globe, and we have to have one 100 miles off the Russian border. This wouldn't escalate things at all now, would it? I mean, think about, here we are in America. If we saw maybe China putting military bases in Canada, Mexico, Cuba, whatever, how would you feel about this? Again, I'm not taking sides of this war here. I don't want to see any loss of life. I want to see the world, come together and live together and have peace. But this is not going to end up being a peaceful situation if we're going to continue putting military bases around Russia and giving missiles to Ukraine to shoot into Russia. There's already so much blood on our hands now with the drones and the missiles and the money that we've given to Ukraine. So I just hope that we're not going to see a major blowback here. Baltic undersea data cable disruption may take 2 weeks to repair. People were laughing at this the other day, but now here we have another update. A cable disruption between Finland and Germany. A cable that runs from Finland to Germany has sustained damage, and measures have been initiated, and a repair vessel is getting ready to go onto the site. The repair estimate is 5 to 15 days. This is the only cable connecting Finland and Central Europe. Okay, so think about this internet cable. One cable connects Finland to Central Europe. Was this an accident? Was it something more nefarious? I have no idea. It could have been a boat anchor. It could have been anything. Could have been us. Who knows? But think about how vulnerable we are as a country. That we have these internet cables on the ocean floor that you cannot guard against nefarious actors. And just think, if there was a major disruption here, what you would do. If the internet went down, the banking system went down. I mean, if the internet went down, everything's going down with it. How long would you last? Because most people, they can't even stay off their phones for 2 minutes, let alone be able to pay for anything. They can't even go through a drive-through and not use their phone to pay for things. We have now a society that is completely enslaved to this digital money now, that they just use their phones, digits on a screen. Think about if a bad actor really hit this country and shut the internet down, cyber attack, what have you, it would be devastating. The United States has been in recession for years. This on the Hedge today. Maybe Americans aren't so stupid. Every day for years, they've been telling us about how great the economy's been, how low inflation is, everything's marvelous, the economy's stronger than ever. But people had one problem. They were looking at their personal finances, and they were finally admitting to themselves that they don't have any money, that they're living paycheck to paycheck, that they have $20 in their bank account. You can only tell a lie so many times, ladies and gentlemen, before people begin to stop believing it, because common sense wins out. And when people are living paycheck to paycheck, when they cannot afford to put any money away, cannot save for a home because they're paying their utility bills, they're paying the phone bills, the overpriced car insurance, the overpriced health insurance, the car payment, the rent, all this stuff. It goes on and on and on. And people are finding themselves in the red. So we are now heading into 2025. This next administration is going to have a massive mess to unravel, and I don't even know if it's possible. This will be a miracle if they can even put a dent in this. Another one from the hedge today: the inflation fire is not extinguished yet, far from it. When will the misery end? We had CPI come in at 2.6% last month. Core CPI, which excludes food and energy prices, came in at 3.3%. All of this is well above the Fed's 2% target. And so, again, I don't understand why they're cutting rates when we're not even close to this 2%. And I would say that the only reason they're cutting is because Jerome Powell and the Fed knows that this economy is in much worse shape than they're admitting, much worse shape than they want to tell us. They're trying to kickstart this economy, but now as the massive layoffs continue, it's going to be much more difficult. It's going to take more than rate cuts to kickstart this economy. I pray to God they don't start printing money like they did last time, or we're going to be in even more trouble. They're always looking for the quick, easy fix. Nobody wants to feel the pain. They should have been raising rates much higher, but nobody wants to feel the pain. Nobody wants to take the blame. I get it, but at the end of the day, you keep rates too low for too long, you start pumping more money into this economy, we're going to have inflation roaring back out of control. And we know the inflation numbers already are a big lie. We know that inflation is well into the double digits. CNBC, budget travel icon Spirit Airlines files for bankruptcy protection after mounting losses. Weaker than expected sales have caused this bankruptcy on top of the $1.1 billion in debt payment due in 2025. But hey, markets were pretty flat today. Dow Jones was down a little bit. Everything was up a little bit. Gold recovered nicely today. Silver had a nice day. Bitcoin continues to go up. But we are certainly not out of the woods here. But isn't it shocking that the markets ignore the layoffs? They ignore all of these bankruptcies. The markets are full of hopium that Jerome Powell is going to do another rate cut in December. Borderlands, Mexico, Toyota pumping $1.45 billion into Mexico to boost Tacoma production. Let me ask all of you this. Why is that not happening right here? Why is that $1.45 billion, $1.5 billion going to Mexico and not the United States of America? What is going on here? And do you believe that there should be tariffs put on companies like Toyota that, put billions of dollars in other countries to build vehicles to ship to the United States of America? Here, I do believe you need tariffs. This $1.45 billion should not be pumped into Mexico. It should be pumped right here into the United States of America, boosting jobs and pay right here in America, more production right here in America. We need to stop being this service economy. We are not going to survive as a nation being a service economy. We must make things here like cars, like trucks, like steel, semiconductors, chips, pharmaceuticals, et cetera, et cetera. Somebody yesterday wrote me and said I should move to China since, I think China's so great. And I think they're sadly misunderstood when I talked about watching some videos yesterday on China and the massive cities and how clean they are and the amount of technology. Their infrastructure is absolutely amazing. It blows America away. Does that mean I want to move there? No, I don't want to live in a communist country. What I'm doing is trying to wake people like this individual who wrote me and said I want to move there, their ignorance that I don't want to move there, but this country, the United States of America, the one that we live in, the one that we love, we better wake up and we better start doing something like building up our infrastructure, building up our cities, making vehicles here, making pharmaceuticals here, making semiconductors here, everything China's doing, and maybe doing something about our crime so we don't have graffiti everywhere, garbage everywhere, people sleeping in tents everywhere. I would much rather live in cities like China, not in China, but like China, have an infrastructure like China, because it is decades ahead of the United States of America. And it's sad to say, but that's the reality of it. So don't confuse what I'm saying yesterday. I love America. I would never leave it. I don't want to live anywhere but America. I'm making a point here that China is eating our lunch. They are blowing us out of the water with their technology, their construction, their manufacturing, everything. I did not see any graffiti. I didn't see any bums, sleeping on sidewalks. I didn't see any of this stuff. It looks like you could probably walk around 2 o'clock in the morning and not worry about something happening. That's the difference. Why can we not do that here? Why does that mean that I want to move there? Because it's clean and it's got infrastructure and it's got all this technology and the bullet trains. That's wonderful, but we could do that here. We could do even better here. So don't confuse what I'm saying. It is almost embarrassing how far America has fallen and what has happened to San Francisco, Oakland, Chicago, Los Angeles. I mean, you got to be a real ignorant individual to not see what is happening, the fall of this country and our cities, the gang epidemic, the violence, the garbage, the homelessness, the drugs. It goes on and on and on. I mean, I think we could definitely improve. Nearly 40% of cars financed in 2022 are underwater. This on the hedge today. The delayed reckoning, it says, has arrived for millions of Americans who purchased vehicles during the health crisis. Many are now trapped in vehicles with negative equity, and costly monthly payments as they face more financial strain and elevated inflation plus high interest rates. It blows me away the amount of debt people have taken on the last couple of years. They overpaid so much on homes. Excuse me for the noise here. One of the tortoises here is walking around. The amount that they overpaid for vehicles, they overpaid for homes. And yes, now the reckoning has arrived and people are really, really hurting. But if I turn on the television today, everything is wonderful. The economy is glamorous. It's great. They want you to continue to go out and buy. And they're telling you, you better get out and go buy this Christmas because they want record Christmas retail sales while the typical American is completely broke. But that's why they gave you so many credit cards and want you to go out and spend. Cars, meds, oil, and tech, America's main imports. Take a look at what this country is importing. This is the top 10 U.S. goods. Passenger cars, we're importing $203.6 billion of cars. Pharmaceuticals, we are a very, very sick nation, ladies and gentlemen. We are importing $203.2 billion in pharmaceuticals. We are a very, very, very unhealthy nation, aren't we? Crude oil, $164.9 billion. Auto parts, $140.9 billion. Cell phones and household goods, we're importing $117.9 billion. Electrical apparatus, $97 billion. Computers, $88.4 billion. Telecommunications equipment, we import $78.7 billion. That is what we imported last year. Industrial machinery, $75.9 billion. Semiconductors, $72.9 billion. We better start making stuff, ladies and gentlemen, because the scary thing is the world is a very uncertain place and there is more chaos than ever. And if we begin to have more conflict across the world, especially with Asia, China, where a lot of this stuff is coming from, what happens if they don't want to ship $203.2 billion of pharmaceuticals to America? What would all of these people in America that are dependent on these pharmaceuticals, what would they do? What if this crude oil got cut off? What about auto parts? $140.9 billion in auto parts. Cell phones, household goods, $117.9 billion. What if all this just got cut off? China said, you know what, we're having a conflict. You want to sanction us? We're going to sanction you back. We're not going to ship these products to you. So good luck, putting stuff on the store shelves in Target and Walmart and Kohl's and all that. And, too bad you're not getting computers, telecommunications equipment, and so on. We would really be in a very, very bad place, ladies and gentlemen, because we are so dependent on other countries, especially China. And we better wake up real quick and start making a lot of this stuff right here, right now, before it is too late. Because these countries, especially China, have a ton of leverage. U.S. obesity levels are particularly severe. This also on the Hitch today. We are the fattest country on planet Earth. Self-reported obesity, 33.8%. for adults. I looked at Google today, and it said that 40.8% of Americans are obese. And if you're obese, you run the risk of health issues such as type 2 diabetes, cardiovascular diseases, cancers. How about your standard of living? How about a short lifespan? You know, when you read what's happening now with these gangs in Tennessee, do you really want to be obese? With everything that's happening in the world, do you really want to be obese? Do you just want to be a couch potato? I mean, I think now more than ever, it is so important to get yourself in shape, mentally, physically, spiritually, financially. We're coming into some really, really crazy times. And if you can't get off the couch, if you can't, if you can't run 100 yards, you're going to be in very, very big trouble. Because I really pray to God that, things really improve in 2025 and get better. But you got to ask yourself, what if they do not? So just a few things to think about today. Feel free to comment down below. But I think that this is a great time to get in the best shape you possibly can get into, the best time to pay off debt, the best time to maybe, get some money out of the bank and have it where you can get to, the best time to be walking close to God, and obviously the best time to be owning some gold and silver too, because I think we're going to see more things evolve with the BRICS nations. And if these wars in the Middle East and in Eastern Europe escalate even more, and it creates more geopolitical uncertainty and more financial uncertainty, you gotta be diversified here and make sure that all your money is not sitting on a computer screen. That you have cash out of the system, that you have gold and silver where you can get to it. If you want to gamble in some cryptos, that's up to you. But to me, that is pure gambling. But look, is there money to be made? Yeah, as long as you're winning. So just think how quickly they can pull the rug out on that too. So be careful. And if you made some money, make sure you're pulling some money off the table if you're gambling. So I'm going to leave it there today. Again, feel free to comment down below. Please like, share, subscribe. Let me know your thoughts on any of this. And we'll see what happens tomorrow. God bless. Take care.